it does.
So another cool winter's morning, and I think that breeze will drop down. We have got a slight breeze from the tree, and you can see on the weather blanket how much of a breeze we've got. We're going to be flying our Eagle. So we have done a few mods to our Eagle, as already stated, and we've since modified it even further. So what I noticed in the breeze, it was getting a little bit out of control, and this was, while this was solid here, this whole thing kept moving around, sort of flopping that way. So what I did is I cut some foam into a V shape and I've put it in there. So now that thing is as rigid as, to the point where I flew it earlier in the week, and you can actually do aerobatics and fly inverted with this. The other thing that's rather, I wouldn't say disappointing, but probably known, is that this area here with this balsa is really thin, and around here is subject to breaking. So what I've done is I've put a piece of foam there and glued it. There's one underneath there and I've glued it, and there's also one up the front there and I've glued that. So that is now nice and tight. It's nice and tight, which is that German girl. So we are going to be putting a little 4-banger in it. So we're going to fly a 1000. This is an older one. Thought I'd try this first, and we'll see how we go. So we stick that in there up front. Come on, battery, don't be scared, just go in there. Stick that in there. We give it the beans.
Engine on. Engine off. Engine on. Engine
Good.
on.
And now the reason I always check that is to make sure I have got the motor on and off, and also checking how much of this comes up to making it go, because sometimes, as you can hear with that beeping noise, it does actually really require calibration. So I don't calibrate it every time. So now all we got to do is stick the wings on, which is a bit easier said than done. So stick the big rubber bands on there, one on there. Come on. Pull that back, pull that one over the front, and that one over the front. So we're going to take a little fly. I'm going to show you sort of how nice it flies. It is a bit breezy for it, I will admit. It's probably a little bit too breezy to be perfect, as you can probably hear in the camera. Anyway, we'll go out, we'll take off into the wind, and we'll see how we go. What could go wrong?
Engine on.
Go in middle rates just to give us that bit of oomph. You don't need much. So the birds love it. Cheap, cheap. Of course it was cheap, that's why I bought it. Into the sun, which is never a good thing. But the beauty of this is you can just fly it like one-handed, get that throttle set, and then just have some fun with it, just sort of one hand. So it is struggling in the wind there. And I tell you what, it does hoot along with the 4-cell. So every time you sort of hit the throttle, it wants to go up, and that's natural. So the beauty of it is you can do aerobatics with it now. Oh, listen to that battery. That's what I said about that battery. Well, so you can sort of do the loops. You can even fly inverted with it. So we'll do the slow stuff at the moment. We won't try and give it a flogging with that battery, because that battery is just knackered. It's had a hard life. Like the owner. That's nice, isn't it? Just nice and slow. We'll just land him here. Put him down and put a new battery in. So we'll see about some aerobatics. It is a little bit windy, as I said. You don't need much, just a little tickle. Oops, that wasn't a tickle, that was more of a grab, wasn't it? So that's engine off. She just loves to sort of float by itself. Engine on. And with the 4-cell now, with that tail being extremely rigid, so you can have fun flying it really low and slow. Or you can go and do some aerobatics. So I think that'll sort of freak the birds out a bit, because they won't know what this thing's doing. Into the wind. That's power off since I did that loop. Now power on again. So you know, it does hoot along this thing. Coming at you. It's nice to fly, and you get seem like you get about half an hour out of a battery, unless you flog the crap out of it. And you can fly inverted. You kind of need really perfect conditions for this, because it just is so light. Have a look at it, hey? Look at that guy. Engine off, look at that. And the beauty of it is now, because it's so stable, you can get some decent height in it and sort of fly around up where the birds would be. There we go, we're sort of up around, I don't know, probably 50 metres or so. Now I've just got full stick up on that, and just motor's been off since we got to the height. We're into the wind now, so need to do a bit of down to get a bit of airspeed. We'll keep the airspeed up to it, but that's, you know, that's off. That's sort of, you know, hands off. Flies a lot better with hands off than the way I go. So, and as soon as you tickle the throttle, it just takes off. Not bad for a $40 plane from Banggood. Look at that. Nice big loop into the wind. Try a roll that way. Bring him straight down. Round into the breeze. You don't have to fly very far away with this. It's really easy to fly. Yeah, that's how you do it. Cool little thing to fly. It's really fun. It's so easy. Absolute crap to fly without those mods stiffening it up, but now it's stiffened up. Put a 4-cell in it, V the tail a bit more, support the tail in underneath and to each section. Did nothing to the wings in regards to mods, just did it as, well, I did that front spar, cut it in rather than just pasted it on. But just finding that sweet spot so it just flies. It's nice when there's no breeze because it's fighting me here. Are we going backwards? There you go. Maybe it is a bit of fun in the breeze. There you go backwards. Look at that. Righto, we'll power off and just full up. How's that? Hey?
Engine off.